Are you in a relationship? Let me know in the comments. The reason I'm asking is because I hope you can't relate to the relationship drama that we're gonna read about. First story, found out my ex-husband has been banging my sister for the last year. Don't you just love when that happens? This story came April 17th, 2022. So yeah, I needed to get this off my chest. It's thrown me for a loop, I'd say. I was with my husband since I was 21. We got divorced 2.5 years ago. We just grew apart and mutually agreed that the best thing for us was to go our separate ways. It was relatively amicable as these things go. We have 3 boys. They are 22, 19, and 16. My sister also is in the process of a divorce. Her soon-to-be ex was cheating on her with a coworker of his. My sister also has 2 kids, 10 male and 6 female. Apparently one night last year, after my cousin's birthday party, the 2 of them ended up having sex. I remember the night because my sister showed up in a very revealing outfit and was turning heads all night. Little did I know, one of the heads she turned belonged to my ex-husband. They've been sleeping together on and off ever since. I know they're both adults and neither are in a relationship, but it still seems weird to me, and I don't understand why my sister would go there. For that matter, I also don't understand why my ex would do this. He's a really attractive man, and he always has been. He shouldn't have much trouble finding a woman to date, yet he chose my sister? Perhaps he's more angry about our divorce than I thought. My niece mentioned to me that he's been around with mommy a lot. I asked about it, and he just flat out admitted what's been going on. When I asked my sister, she didn't even try to deny it and said that they're both adults and they're not hurting anyone. Bold of you to assume that I wouldn't be hurt by that.
How dare you?
According to her, it's just sexual and there are no intentions of them actually being together as a couple. I don't know why this bothered me this much. Maybe because when I met my husband and we were in college, my sister was in elementary school. I asked both of them if they ever messed around while we were married and they both denied it. Maybe I'm foolish, but I believed them. We have an update. So, should you have believed them? The update came 5.5 months later. We are now in October of 2022. I took some of the advice from the comments and I've decided to go no contact with my sister and low contact with my ex-husband for the sake of our youngest, who is 16. I called both of them over to my house and I informed them of this, and even if they thought that they weren't hurting anyone, that they were hurting me, and it genuinely made me feel disgusted to think that they would choose each other out of everyone in the world. But also not even consider your feelings. I said, while I believe they never slept together while we were married, as they said, I don't believe that the thought was never there, and 2 people who claim to love me would never actually do this to me. I explained to my sister that even if they didn't plan for things to go beyond just physical, that the fact that she would do this to me meant I could no longer have contact with her or her children, because if it ever became something more, I would be even more hurt by what she was doing. I told my ex that I would only like to communicate through a parenting app, which some of you suggested, until our youngest was of age. Then I would be as minimal contact as much as possible. I asked him if he was doing this to hurt me, which he denied. I asked how long he had these feelings for my sister, and he said it just happened. I talked to my kids about this, not to turn them against their father, but to inform them of any reasons for going no contact and low contact with their aunt and father, and so they can make their own decision about how they feel. All 3 were livid and have talked about going no contact with their father as well. But I encourage them to take time and think about it, and to not think that they needed to do that just because I was. As you can imagine, a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old are not the best at keeping secrets, so word got around the family and the town we live in, which is fairly small. Apparently, a lot of other people thought that this relationship was wrong as well. Something I never expected, though, was the reaction from my parents. My father went off on my sister, asking how she could do this, why she would do this. My mother was more concerned about the age gap. As I said, when my ex and I were in college, my sister was in elementary school. They informed her that as long as she continued this relationship with my ex, he nor she was welcome in their home. Also, people have started to speculate that they were sleeping together way before either of our divorces, and saying that is the reason her husband was cheating on her, and may have been the reason for mine and my ex's divorce divorce as well. Like I said, I choose to believe them when they say they didn't, but I guess you never know. They attempted to defend themselves for a while, but eventually they cut contact and began avoiding each other like the plague. I guess in an attempt to curb any weird look or snide comments about them being a homewrecker and a creep. I really want to know the age difference here then. Oh, I have it. All right, so the wife, ex-wife, the author of this story is 46. Her ex-husband is 47 and her sister is 35. That is the age difference. My sister did give me somewhat of an apology, saying that she didn't really think I would have minded since we ended on okay terms, which I don't fully believe because they went out of their way to keep it a secret, but I informed her that I am still sticking to being no contact with her for the time being. My ex's relationship with our sons is still strained. He asked if I could speak to them, but seeing as the oldest are adults, there isn't much I can do. Our 16-year-old still visits with his father once a month if he wants, but most of the time he doesn't, and we both agree he's old enough to make the choice himself. So that's pretty much it. I still don't know how I feel about all this. It sucks that I can no longer see my sister the same way and that my children's relationship with their father has come to this. But I guess that is my life right now. There is still so much about the situation that I want to know, but I may never know, and maybe that's for the best. I don't know if you're going to get the truth either way, to be honest. But the truth of this situation of what we know is crazy to me.
That's insane.
The fact that like, oh, you ended on good terms. So I just thought like your ex was a freebie because you guys are fine when you broke up. In what world?
This is madness. It's madness, I tell you, for the love of God!
I can't believe people actually think like that. Next story. I'm a student teacher and my fiance is convinced I'm cheating with my master teacher. This has made him go insane. This story came April 30th, 2015. In my freshman year of college, I began dating my fiance. He proposed this past Christmas. He seemed like the kind of guy I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. His own freshman year of college, he dated his best friend from high school, and she cheated on him often and gaslit him about it. This led to him having trust issues. They were more pronounced when we first started dating, and I actually broke up with him for 2 months because of them. But I thought that he had gotten better until now. I'm getting my master's in education, aiming to eventually teach high school English, and this past semester I've been student teaching. My master teacher, essentially mentor, is a really great guy, and I would never cheat with him because I have zero attraction to him or feelings for him whatsoever. The nature of the job means I just spend a lot of time with him, and I also talk to him a lot outside of class to get feedback. For the past 2 months, my fiance has interpreted me spending so much time with another man as cheating on him. He told me outright that he doesn't trust other men to not make a move on a woman, even if she's married, and called me a liar when I told him I'd never even considered cheating on him, and he says everyone thinks about it. He has begun to text me when I'm in class, which is really rude and distracting, and when I don't answer, he's convinced me and my master teacher are having sex somewhere. I've tried everything to salvage this before we get married, which is scheduled to happen in June. At first, I thought it was all my fault. I limited my contact with my master teacher to work, and I stopped letting him buy me coffee like he did at the beginning of our practice. My fiance still wasn't happy. I asked him to go back to counseling to handle his trust issues, and he refused because he feels wronged, but, quote, I want this to work because I love you. I think about leaving, but that means rebuilding my life and losing a lot of money for my parents because they bought my wedding dress. I've been clinging to the hope that he'd go back to normal once my practice was over, but I can't do it anymore. Last night, I finally asked him what the hell was his problem, and after reasserting that I was not cheating on him with my master teacher, he was sure of it. He told me that he wanted me to stop pursuing my certification, basically because he doesn't want me to work with other men. I told him how ridiculous he was being, and he went into a rage that ended with him punching a hole in the wall. Ew. Immediately, ewed, gross, run. No thanks. Goodbye. Girl, please don't marry this man. It's just, I don't know him personally, but by that alone and the fact that he's like, you can't work with other men, don't pursue your career, just get out. Get out. He ain't ready. He's got to work on his issues from the past.
Bye-bye.
I left the house and I went to my sister's where I am right now. I'm scared and I don't want to marry the man he is right now, but I know the person he is when trust issues aren't poisoning his brain, and I feel like I have to try to get that person back. He has been texting me apology upon apology and promising to go to counseling again, but I don't know if he's just trying to lure me back to the house. I love him so much and I know who he is when he's not like this. Part of me is still convinced I need to cut ties with my master teacher or wait for my practice to end and he will be back to normal. But I know I can't be with a person who doesn't trust me and doesn't want me to work because of it. I don't know what to do, and also I'm not cheating on him. Edit. To all the people saying that I have secret feelings for my master teacher, no. I worded a post awkwardly and now I'm getting crucified, so I'm clarifying here. I have no contact with him outside of school and we don't talk about anything but work. It is a strictly professional relationship and it always has been. Listen, if it's not him, even if you're like, it's gonna be over once I'm done with, my master teacher and I get my certificate, this will happen with the next male you work with, We have an update though, and it came the next day. I commented on my original post that I decided to meet up with my fiance for coffee to tell him my reconciliation terms and to definitely cancel the wedding. Well, I texted him saying this, but people on my other posts had told me that he was likely projecting his own desire to cheat. This gave me a hunch, so I decided to check my other folder on Facebook to see if there was anything there. I'd heard of people being messaged about their partner's affairs and not getting them for ages because of the other folder. This actually happened to a friend of mine. Turns out my gut was right, and there was. A girl had messaged me 2 weeks before telling me my fiance had been trying to get her to go out for drinks on Tinder. I got back to her, and to her credit, she immediately answered, telling me that they had been a match and they had been in touch for a week, sexting and trying to make plans to meet up. She found out he was engaged because this girl and I have a mutual friend, one of my friends from my master's program. She sent me screenshots of their conversation and they made me feel sick. I checked my own text conversations with him and yep, he was messaging her talking about how screwable her yabos are while texting me, accusing me of sleeping with my master teacher. He works from home, by the way. The girl was very apologetic, but I told her it wasn't her fault. I almost want to buy her a bottle of wine because I'm so grateful for this. This whole thing was the final straw. I was done. This morning, my sister, her husband, and I drove to my fiance's to move my stuff out. I told him in person that one of his Tinder girls had contacted me and that he was an a-hole and a hypocrite. And that not only did I not want to marry him under any circumstances, but I never wanted to see him again. I gave him the ring back. He started sobbing and telling me that girls from Tinder meant nothing. He tried to start accusing me of cheating again, but I shut that down real quick. My anger made me strong. I tried to be minimalist with my possessions, so we quickly got all the stuff out and into my sister's car, with him the whole time alternating between yelling and crying and insulting all of us and bargaining. Ugh, he sounds like far too much. I would never have the patience. Finally, in the driveway, when he realized I wasn't giving in, that I was really leaving him, he grabbed my arm and tried to prevent me from getting into my sister's car and pushed my sister's husband to the ground when he tried to get him to let go. Then he threatened to hurt himself if I left him. Well, I was done being emotionally held hostage and I read this sub enough to know what to do. I called the police on my way back to my sister's and I told them that my ex-fiance was threatening to harm himself. Thankfully, we are having a small courthouse wedding followed by dinner at my uncle's restaurant who gave us a discount, so calling off the wedding isn't that bad for my finances. Perfect. I'm sitting here now drinking wine, eating Chipotle, and looking at apartments in the area so I won't mooch off my sister and brother-in-law forever. I'm sure I'll be hit with a tsunami of emotion in the coming days, but right now I feel half numb, half relieved. See, I would be furious. I would be so mad if someone was constantly nagging me and accusing me of cheating when I wasn't, just to find out they are. They do say that though. They do say that. And I had an ex who constantly thought I was out cheating. I could have a shower and if I didn't answer for 10 minutes, it was like, oh my God, you're doing something. It was the worst experience of my life. And I always wonder now, I'm like, was it because you were possibly doing something? guess I'll never know. Although after we broke up, he started dating someone pretty much right away, so suspicious. Next story. I think my husband's mistress is stalking me. That's alarming. Oh. This story is fresh. May 25th, 2026. We are currently separated after I found out he's been having an affair with the same person for years. I first found out 5 years ago and we worked things out. He swore he ended things with her and I believed him. We had our last child, 4 years old, during that period. Since the year started, I'd been getting messages on Facebook and Instagram from accounts with no followers telling me that my husband was having an affair. The DMs had details about the trips that he had taken with her, how they go on dates, they have a child together, and all of his friends, mom, and siblings know her. I asked him often if he is still seeing her, and he denied it. What pushed me over the edge was when I saw earrings and a scrunchie that weren't mine in the car after he had borrowed it for the day. I went through his phone and saw that he was still with her. They even had what? I don't know what sound just came out of my mouth. Did I just yodel? Whatever. Put me in Walmart and film me yodeling. That kid that went viral, he's got a whole career now. Where am I? They even had sex tapes and he was constantly telling her how much better she was. Annoyed. How he loved her and wanted to be with her. It's obvious that he has very strong feelings for her. He admitted to everything, including the child that they have together. I left the house and I went to my mom's to take a break. We have been officially separated for a month. The problem now is that the mistress keeps showing up to places that I go often. The playground I take the kids to, the bookshop where I buy their school supplies, where I take the girls to get their hair done. We went to get ice cream and I could have sworn I saw her. I know what she looks like from pictures and videos that they have together, and I feel like I'm going crazy. These are still public places, so there's nothing I can do about it. She just sits there and stares at us. It's making me very uneasy. What is the best way to address the situation? I can't ask for her to be kicked out of a public place. She's always with her daughter anyway, so it never looks weird that a woman and her child are at the same place that I go to with my kids. I'm not speaking to my husband unless it's about the kids, and I don't want to ask him yet. I wonder if she thinks, obviously he's a cheater, and she knows he's a cheater. She's a mistress. I wonder if she's worried that he's cheating on her with you still, so she's kind of following you around to see. We have an update the next day. I confronted my husband about it. He said she's not showing up at the places I go, and I'm the one going to places that she frequents. My husband used to be the one who took the kids out on weekends, since he's virtually never at home on weekdays. I do school pickup and drop off, and he does the fun stuff. All the places he used to take the kids to, which I'm doing now since they're with me, were suggested by her. That's where she buys her books. The playground is where she used to take her nieces and nephews before their daughter was born. She recommended the salon to him since my daughters and her have the same hair texture. He says that she used to go to the salon on Sundays after church, but only recently switched it up to Saturdays, and that's when I take the girls. The ice cream place is apparently her favorite as well. So yeah, my D-bag of a husband had been taking our kids to his mistress's favorite spots. Shocker! My kids already love going to all these places, and finding a salon that caters to our daughter's hair needs close to us will be difficult. He didn't show any remorse telling me about it and reminding me that it's a public space and she hasn't committed any crime. I am just gonna have to find other alternatives. Yeah, I think so. Not surprised though that he is a total POS. I'm happy she's not stalking you though. Last thing you need is being stalked by the mistress. Y'all know what time it is. We need a quick water break. Okay, drink your water today. Cheers. I have been very hydrated today. Not to brag, but to absolutely brag. It just feels good when you're on your hydration game and you're like, wow, you know, I drank the water today. Some days hours go by and I'm like, oh, I haven't had a sip of water. We all know that I love some glitter. It's all fun and games, right? Glitter we love, but it gets stuck on everything. So a brand sent me new body oil and it had glitter in it. So before I went to a concert the other night, I lathered up my arms and my legs and I was like, ooh. I didn't know that it was not going to come off and that it was going to go everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, I love glitter, so like I'm not totally mad about it, but if I touched anything, it got everywhere. It's still on my hands, still on my arms. I've used a loofah to try to scrub it off. That glitter is embedded in my skin. I'm actually gonna show you guys a little video at the concert. I didn't realize how glittery I was when I left the house. Let me tell you. But I mean, I was sparkling. Next story, am I the a-hole for wanting to tell my brother that his girlfriend has been involved with our sister? What is with everyone like sleeping with each other's family members? It's really easy not to. It's like super easy. Honestly, one of the easiest things I've ever done in my life. This story came May 17th, 2026. My brother, 28 male, has been with his girlfriend, 25 female, for 3 years. They live together and everyone assumes that they will get engaged soon. About 2 months ago, I was at my sister's flat, 26 female, while she was out walking her dog. Earlier, we had been looking through old family photo albums and she took photos of some of them for me on her phone. She told me to airdrop them to myself while she was out. While scrolling through her camera roll, I came across screenshots of messages between her and my brother's girlfriend. At first, I didn't think much of it because they've always been close, but one of them felt weirdly flirty. I know I shouldn't have, but I looked for more after that because I had a bad feeling, and then I found 2 explicit pictures of them together. One was from around 8 months ago, and one was from 2 months ago. As far as I know, both of them are straight, which honestly made the whole thing even more confusing. I kept looking after that, and there were loads of more screenshots between them. Mostly normal stuff, memes, etc., but mixed in with messages like, miss you already, and wish you were here. Neither of them know that I know, and I haven't told anybody. But now every time we're all together, I feel sick because my brother has absolutely no clue. He talks about marrying her constantly. What's making me question everything is that technically I found this by looking through my sister's phone. I wasn't snooping originally, but I definitely crossed a line once I kept looking. Part of me is also scared that I somehow misunderstood something, but I know for a fact the photos were explicit. If I tell him, it'll completely destroy my family, but if I stay quiet, I feel like I'm helping them lie to him. Also, part of me is genuinely paranoid that my brother somehow already knows and this is some weird arrangement or something, in which case I am an awful person for snooping. But even if that was the case, that's weird and I'm uncomfortable. Yeah. Same. Put me on the list of also uncomfortable. If that was you, are you telling the brother? Because I'm like, that involves your sister and your brother. So no matter what, you're hurting one or the other, no matter what position you're in. Brutal. I'm like, you can't let him marry her though if she's cheating. That's tricky. We have an update. 2 days later, let's see what happened. I finally spoke to them and now I'm even more confused and kind of revolted. Oh my God, was it like a little arrangement they had? Wait, ew, that's brother and sister though. First thing, I know for a fact one of the photos wasn't a selfie. You could literally see part of someone's leg in the corner and the angle would have been weird for a tripod. A lot of comments pointed that out and it properly got to my head. Anyways, I confronted my sister yesterday morning and she denied everything immediately. She kept insisting it wasn't my brother's girlfriend in the photos, even though I know it was. She also admitted she likes women, which I obviously don't care about at all, but she still kept denying that it was specifically my brother's girlfriend. I then went to my brother's and I spoke to him since she wouldn't tell me the truth. At first he acted shocked and I honestly thought that I had just ruined his life. But halfway through the conversation, his whole attitude changed and he started saying stuff like, you don't understand the full picture, and it's not cheating, it's just a thing. I asked him directly if he already knew and was a part of it, and he basically said, we don't need to talk about that. Now I honestly think my brother already knew something was going on. Maybe there's some kind of arrangement between them. I genuinely don't know anymore. Ugh, though. Like y'all are both just getting with the same person? Ugh. The more I think about it, the 3 of them have always been very close, and now I'm wondering if this has been going on for way longer than I realized. I almost wish I never found out any of this because now the whole situation just feels insane. I think I'm gonna separate myself from this whole thing as I'm very uncomfortable. Yep, same. It sounds to me like, yeah, that they're just kind of like both with her, which it just, that's okay. I don't like it. I don't like that one bit. Couldn't be me. Couldn't and wouldn't be me, you know? Let me know your thoughts and feelings, you guys. I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.